Good morning and dobro jutro i sa moje strane, dear Mayor, Chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee in the Parliament. Good to have you here, dear colleagues, ambassadors. Najprije hvala na pozivu i čestitki vama, organizatorama ove konferencije, na organizaciji ove konferencije o zaštiti prirode i posebno o zaštiti jednog od pravih dragulja koje ove zemlja Crna Gora ima, to je Saline ulici. Speaking about jewels, your country, Montenegro, has a lot of them on a small surface, an enormous amount of natural beauties, also an enormous variety in biodiversity. This is, I think, something which is not known to everyone, not in this country. Unfortunately, also this pledge which Montenegro has done many years ago to be the first ecological state, there has not been enough action to actually fill this with life. And I think we have a unique opportunity, and you mentioned that in the very beginning, we have a unique opportunity to catch up now because of the EU enlargement process. And yes, for the EU enlargement process, in any case, it is a requirement. If you want to close all the chapters, including chapter 27, you need to look at the benchmarks. You need to look at what you need to do. And this is one of the requirements in order to close all chapters, is also to close chapter 27, which is, as you say, very wide-reaching. It's also very expensive, and it takes a lot of different stakeholders and actors actually to work together in order to achieve that. But even without the EU accession, you, and I look here to the politicians, you have an obligation towards your citizens to live up to what you have pledged and actually make this country much closer to an ecological state. The unique side of Ulcin, and I didn't have a chance yet to visit, but it's on my list for the next weeks. This is recognized for its biodiversity and public significance. It's been high on our agenda for the last years, and we have been supporting it through various means, and we will continue to support it as we go forward. And yes, it's part of the closing benchmarks for 27. Over the past few years, we have seen some progress. The two biggest steps being the granting of the status of national protection as a nature park. That was very important. And secondly, also, I think in the same year, in 2019, the inclusion into the so-called Ramsar list of wetland of international importance. In addition, I understand a 10-year management plan is set to be finalized by the end of the year. Very much looking forward to hearing today where we actually are when it comes to this 10-year management plan. Now it's crucial that the government establishes a dedicated management company to oversee this area effectively. In this context, we commend the good cooperation established over the past years between the Ministry of Ecology, the Public Enterprise National Parks of Montenegro, NGOs, and the municipality of Ulcin. Nevertheless, key infrastructural work such as the rehabilitation of embankments, but also pumps and berms have not been carried out fully, thus posing an ongoing risk to the area's biodiversity. We have been supporting the Saline Ulcin through different funding mechanisms in the past. We will continue to do so in the future. For instance, we are assisting with the designation of the future Natura 2000 network in Montenegro, including field mapping of habitats, species, and birds. And now it's important that the Montenegrin authorities take the important decisions which are necessary, allocate the necessary resources to preserve this beautiful salty habitat and bird paradise. Why is it important? Well, first of all, it's a jewel, as I mentioned in the beginning, but secondly, it has a lot of potential for the economic development of the Ulcin area. And therefore, of course, this development must be sustainable, but ecotourism is something which is growing very fast in the European Union, many European Union countries. And that's why I believe we have, coming back to what I said in the beginning, a unique chance. I want to thank the stakeholders who have worked on this for the last years. I'm happy to see some acceleration now of the works. I want to thank especially also the NGO, which is dealing with the, what's the name of your NGO? Sorry, I'm still new here.
BirdLife Montenegro.
BirdLife Montenegro, for the wonderful work which was done in the last years. I also want to thank my colleagues who are helping on this one, the French colleague, the Italian, the Germans have been very active on this one. So this is really now a unique chance we have. And yes, when there was the country report presented last month, there wasn't a heavy focus on this, you're right. But let me also add that I mentioned it in the press conference which I had with the Prime Minister, Chapter 27, not to forget this very chapter, because it's costly, it takes a lot of effort, and we really need to speed up. I see there is some realization now in some parts of the government that this needs to be done, but it needs the effort of a lot of stakeholders. It needs also the Parliament, it needs ULCIN, obviously, it needs the NGOs to work together, because we need to move. We need to move not only on ULCIN Salina, but also many other issues connected to environment. There is no sustainable solution yet on waste management, a big topic, also a topic which is very costly. Wastewater, so there are many, many issues, and we need to use this next 3-4 years to make a major step forward. When it comes to the European Union, you can count on us, we will be there, but we need the buy-in of many, many stakeholders in the society here in Montenegro. Thank you.